Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive into something really cool?
I am.
We're talking about Ainos Incorporated today,
Okay.
a company that's basically figured out how to give AI a sense of smell.
Oh, wow.
It sounds kind of wild, right?
Yeah.
But you know what?
What?
This tech could seriously change how we diagnose diseases, keep workers safe, all sorts of stuff.
Really?
We've got a bunch of sources to dig into, like the CEO's letter to shareholders, some recent news articles, even some background info on iNews itself.
Sounds like we've got our work cut out for us.
We do, but trust me, this is going to be fascinating. By the end of this, you'll totally see why iNews is a company to watch.
I'm intrigued already. So where do we start?
Well, let's start with healthcare.
All right?
Did you know that those traditional STI tests,
Yeah.
they can actually miss the infection like 30% of the time?
Seriously? That's a lot.
It is. And iNews, they're working on something that could make those tests way more accurate.
Wow. Okay. So how are they even doing that? Like, how do you even begin to teach a machine to smell?
Right. It all comes down to these things called VOCs.
EVOCs.
Yeah, volatile organic compounds.
Okay.
They're basically like little chemical fingerprints that everything gives off, even our bodies.
Huh.
And guess what? Certain VOC patterns can actually signal specific diseases or health issues.
So it's like our bodies are sending out these invisible signals.
Exactly. And Ainos AI Nose can actually pick up on them.
So wait, they're using AR to smell disease?
Pretty much. They've got these special digital sensors that detect the VOCs
Huh.
and then a super sophisticated AI algorithm to analyze all the patterns.
Oh, that's cool. I'm starting to see how this could work.
And the AI doesn't just identify the VOCs.
What else does it do?
It actually learns to connect those specific patterns with different conditions.
So it's like giving a doctor a superpower sense of smell,
That's a great way to put it. And that brings us to their flagship product,
which is...
Ainos Flora.
Okay, I've heard of that. It's for STI testing, right?
You got it.
So does it use this AI nose thing?
It does. Ainos Flora is designed to pick up on the VOCs associated with common STIs and also vaginal infections.
And they're even working on a version that you can use at home, right?
Yep. Making testing way more convenient and accessible, which is huge.
That's really interesting. I do wonder, though, at home testing.
Yeah.
Like, what about the privacy concerns with that? What happens to all that data?
That's a really good question. And honestly,
Uh-huh.
the sources we have don't really get into the specifics of their data security measures,
Oh, okay.
but it's definitely a valid concern, especially when you're dealing with something as sensitive as health data.
For sure. It seems like there's always this balance between pushing the boundaries of technology and, making sure that we're using it responsibly.
Absolutely. But Ainos isn't just focusing on STIs.
Huh.
They're also applying this AI nose tech to a whole other area,
Which is...
elderly care.
Oh, wow. That's a huge need globally, especially with populations aging.
Exactly. And they're teaming up with these two other companies,
Whoa. Which ones?
the Shinbo Micro Devices and Taiwan Inabata Sanyo. They're working together to develop a specific AI nose solution just for elderly care.
Huh.
Think about it. You could potentially detect early signs of health problems in seniors just from their VOCs.
Wow. That could be really helpful for early intervention.
Right. And that could prevent more serious issues down the line. Plus, it could help caregivers a lot, especially with, the shortage of caregivers we're seeing.
Yeah, that's true. I think I read that they're planning to launch this in Japan first.
Yeah, that's what the sources say. Makes sense. Right.
Yeah, the population there is aging rapidly. It's a market where the need for this kind of technology is really high.
Exactly. But here's the thing.
What?
This technology isn't limited to healthcare.
Oh, really?
Ainos is actually exploring its use in smart factories as well.
Okay, now that's really cool. So we're talking robots with super sniffers patrolling factories.
Basically. Imagine robots equipped with the AI nose constantly sniffing out stuff like gas leaks,
Oh, yeah, those would be bad.
chemical spills, overheating equipment.
Wow.
They could even pick up on tiny changes in VOCs.
Oh, like what?
That might mean a machine's about to break down.
Oh, I see. That could prevent accidents and save money. So cool. But how accurate is this technology in a real factory setting? Like, those places are pretty chaotic.
That's a good point, but the early results are actually pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah.
The AI nose is already 79% accurate at identifying certain VOCs.
79%.
Yeah, and that's in Japanese semiconductor factories, which are super complex.
That's really good, especially for such new tech.
I know, right? It's amazing to see how they're tackling these big challenges.
Yeah. It's not just about cool tech. It's about making a difference.
Exactly, and that's what makes Ainos so fascinating.
Totally. So what else is there to explore with Ainos? Welcome back. We're diving even deeper into the world of iNews.
Yeah, and I'm really curious about this point-of-care testing thing.
Oh, POCT.
Yeah, it seems like a big part of their strategy.
It is, it is. POCT is all about bringing medical testing right to the patient.
So like those rapid flu tests.
Exactly. Or at-home pregnancy tests. Ainos is using their AI Nose tech to make those tests even better.
Even better how?
Well, think about it.
Yeah.
Instead of sending samples to a lab and waiting forever,
And waiting and waiting.
you could get diagnosed and start treatment way faster.
That would be a game changer.
It would for so many conditions. And remember those VOCs?
Uh-huh.
They can actually be used to detect a whole bunch of medical conditions.
Oh, wow.
And the AI Nose analyzes those VOCs right there, right then,
Okay.
giving you quick and accurate results right at the point of care.
Sounds super efficient, but is it really as accurate as those traditional lab tests?
That's a good question. The AI Nose is still pretty new,
Yeah.
but the research shows it's already giving really promising results.
Oh, okay.
And as the AI learns more, it'll only get more accurate over time.
It's kind of wild to think that we might not need labs as much in the future.
I know, right? Imagine getting lab quality results just sitting at home.
That would be amazing. But what about the cost of all this? Will everyone be able to afford it?
Well, the sources don't say much about pricing.
Okay.
Like any new tech, it'll probably be expensive at first. But as they make more of it and more people start using it,
Yeah,
the cost should go down, making it accessible to more folks.
makes sense. Speaking of access, I read that they've created a cloud-based test management platform.
So yeah, it's basically a way to connect those POCT devices to the cloud.
What does that even mean?
So healthcare providers can see the test results, monitor patient data,
Right.
even do remote consultations, all securely.
So your doctor could check up on you from miles away using data from your AI Nose device at home.
Exactly. It's
Oh.
pretty futuristic stuff, but it does bring up those data security and privacy questions again.
Right, we talked about that with the at-home STI tests. It's a big deal, especially as we use more and more connected devices for healthcare.
Absolutely. iNews will need to be super transparent about how they're protecting our data as they roll out this tech.
Couldn't agree more. But you know what's really interesting?
What?
iNews isn't just focusing on physical health.
No.
They're looking into mental health, too.
Really?
Yeah, it's still early.
Uh-huh.
But there is some evidence that certain VOC patterns might be linked to mental health conditions,
What?
like depression and anxiety. And iNews is researching how their AI Nose could detect those patterns.
Okay, so this could change how we diagnose and treat mental health issues.
Potentially, yeah.
Wow, that could be huge, especially given the stigma around mental health. It's a sensitive area.
It is. We have to be careful here.
Yeah.
But if they can apply this tech to mental health responsibly,
Yes.
it could really make a difference.
For sure. But mental health is really complex.
It is.
Relying only on VOCs to diagnose it might be a bit too simple.
You're right. It's definitely something to think carefully about.
Absolutely. But iNose is clearly thinking big. They're not just making a single product.
So,
They're building a whole ecosystem around this AI-powered smell technology.
it's a long-term game.
It is. And they're smart about it. Teaming up with companies like Nishinbo Micro Devices and Taiwan Inabata Sanyo.
Those partnerships are huge.
They are. It shows they understand how important collaboration is for innovation.
It's like they're building a whole movement around this tech.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how the market will react as they start releasing more of these technologies.
I can't wait to see what they do next. All right, we're back for the final part of our iNews deep dive.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
It really has. We've covered their tech, its potential in healthcare, elderly care, even factories.
We've talked about their strategy, their partnerships, their whole ecosystem.
But there's one key piece we haven't really touched on.
Oh, what's that?
The man behind it all, Mr. Chinjian Tsai, the CEO.
Ah, right. Every great company needs a great leader.
Exactly. And from everything I've read, Mr. Tsai is incredibly passionate about this technology.
Yeah, his shareholder letter.
Uh-huh.
You can really feel his enthusiasm. He seems to genuinely believe in the power of this AI Nose.
It's refreshing, isn't it?
Yeah. He's not just talking about profits and all that.
No, he's talking about solving real problems, making a difference.
Exactly. And that comes through in everything he says about iNews.
He's clearly in it for the long haul, and he's not afraid to take risks.
And he's got a great team around him, people who share his vision.
That's so crucial, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's one thing to have a good idea,
Yeah.
but you need the right people to make it happen.
Ainu seems to have that. It feels like a real team effort.
It does. It does.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Okay.
We've talked about all the amazing potential of this AI nose technologies,
Hmm.
healthcare,
Mm-hmm.
elderly care, factories.
Yeah.
But I think we've only scratched the surface.
Oh, I agree. Where else could this go? What other applications can we imagine for this tech?
Exactly. Think about it. Virtual reality,
Oh, yeah.
food development, even environmental monitoring.
The possibilities are huge. It's like giving a machine a whole new way to sense the world.
It's pretty mind-blowing.
Well,
Ainos is leading the way here,
they are there.
showing what's possible when you combine human creativity with AI.
I can't wait to see what they come up with next. It's definitely a company to watch.
That's for sure. And that brings us to the end of our iNews Deep Dive.
I hope everyone enjoyed it.
We had a blast exploring this fascinating world of AI-powered scent technology with you all.
Until next time.
Keep diving deep.